Everybody, Mike Beer here, taking a look at a graded stakes race on the turf at Del Mar on Sunday. They got three graded stakes races on turf on their Sunday card. The headliner, though, and all three of them are very good races. The headliner is the Grade One Matriarch. It's race number 7 for fillies and mares. They're going to go 1 mile on the turf for a $300,000 purse, a field of 11, and it's a really, really good field. There's a lot going on in this race. You have a couple of horses who have just run really, really well throughout 2019. I think they're, all led obviously by Got Stormy, who's going to be the favorite in this race. Just gotten really good as a 4-year-old for Mark Casse. Exits a super try in the Breeders' Cup Mile, where she ran a very good second to Uni. Uni won this race last year and then won the Breeders' Cup this year. She's not going to come back and try to defend her Matriarch title, but they got Stormy in here. She's the horse to beat, in very good form. With really good tactical speed, but you have Chad Brown shipping in with significant form from New York, and she's had a very good year so far as a 4-year-old. Toinette, a local hope for Neil Drysdale, just really good at a mile, exits a easy Grade 2 win at Santa Anita in her last start. You have a couple of horses drawn outside as well, including Juliet Foxtrot, who didn't draw well in post 11, but also in very good form. And it feels like a mile is her best distance as well. So this is, there's a solid favorite in here, but this is sort of a wide open race. I think a lot of different horses can win here. Let's look at the time from US Pace Projector really quick. They have the 10 Giza Goddess out there on the lead. Giza Goddess has, obviously plenty of speed. She's only made one start this year. That was in a Grade 3 off of a very long layoff, and she did show the pace that day and before settling for second best. She's got speed. She's in a very tough spot here. This is the kind of race where even if she does make the front, some of the major contenders here are just really tactical kinds of horses. So I don't think they're going to be compromised by the pace. Giza Goddess will show speed, though. Painting Corners, the 8, will also likely show speed. She's a stretch-out sprinter in this race. And it just feels like she has one way to go, and that's to try to make the front. I'd be shocked if she could get to the front and wire this field, though. This is a really good field of horses. So we'll see if the pace plays, has anything to say about the outcome. I didn't think that it would. Let's just look at the main contenders real quick in the race. And we'll start with Got Stormy. She's the horse to beat in this race. Has come back really, really good as a 4-year-old this year. And I think she showed that very early on. Her 2 races in Kentucky in the spring, the Jenny Wiley and the Distaff Turf Mile. She didn't win either of those races, but she ran really well both times, in particular Jenny Wiley. I thought she ran great in the Jenny Wiley, finishing 3rd. Blew a stretch lead at Churchill on Derby Day, went 2nd in the Distaff Turf Mile, but she ran really well that day as well. And I think it's worth noting the turf in your PPs will be listed as firm. And the turf just was not firm on Derby Day. I don't know why the Equibase hasn't changed that, but that was not a firm turf course. And Got Stormy really, I think, excels on a rock hard firm turf course. And, we'll see. That's one of the questions with her because there was some rain out in Southern California this week, but I think it's cleared up. And if she gets just firm turf, that's what she wants. And she's just a really good turf horse. Her De La Rose, obviously at Saratoga, was a huge effort. She came back a week later and beat the boys in the Grade 1 4-star Dave with a 109 buyer. Caught, something less than firm ground at Woodbine on with that big, one-turn turf course. I don't think that really suits her. I think she really wants quick ground around 2 turns, and that's what she got at Santa Anita last time. And she ran great in the Breeders' Cup, only second best, but she ran a really good race. She's the horse to beat in here. And I thought Toinette was also an interesting alternative if you didn't necessarily want Got Stormy at a short price. Toinette, does she have to improve to win this race? She probably does. But she's 3 for 4 this year. The only loss when they tried to get 9 furlongs second off the layoff behind Vasilika and Juliet Foxtrot. She didn't run poorly in there. But, it felt like she could do better than that with some racing, and she's won her next 2 starts, both at a mile. This is really her distance. Between a mile and a 16th in her career, she is 6 for 6, and she's got great tactical speed, and she really finishes her races off. She is a contender in here, and perhaps one at a pretty good price in this race. I also thought significant form was interesting for Chad Brown. This is a tough race for her. She's facing some good horses in here. But she was a good 2-year-old. I thought she was a good 3-year-old as well for Chad. She just was running races at 9 and 10 furlongs that are too far for her. She didn't run poorly in those races. She just doesn't really want to go that far. This year, they've concentrated on shorter races for her. She's won 2 Grade 3s. She's won a Grade 2. She got a 100 by her speed figure last time when easily winning the Noble Damsel. There's a lot to like about her. This is a really tough race they're shipping into, but she is good and maybe better than she looks on paper. I wouldn't discount her chances in here. Juliet Foxtrot is a contender as well. She just ran very well in the First Lady, went second best also to Uni in there. Close to a fast pace, had the lead in the stretch. Uni ran her over late, but she ran well in there. 100 higher speed figure for her. This mile distance feels like it's her best distance. Unfortunately for her, she drew a terrible post out in number 11. But if she can get a trip from out there, she has a right to win this race. And then one other horse who I think has a real chance in here and who might be the best price of the horses that we just talked about, the 9 Daddy is a Legend. And I'll make Daddy is a Legend my top pick in the race for that reason, because she's going to be a good price in here. I think if you just look at her on cold form, you feel like maybe she's a cut below these horses. Only a pair of grade 3 wins to her credit since breaking her maiden, but she's really run better than that in a lot of different races. I like the fact that they've shipped her to Del Mar twice, once as a 2-year-old and once as a 3-year-old, and she ran great in both of her races at Del Mar, both at a mile. She won the Jimmy Durante as a 2-year-old, a really good performance in that race. To win easily after not getting away from the gate well at all. And then they came for the Matriarch last year, and she ran a super second to Uni at a big price in that race. She also has, sort of held her own against some of the better, certainly some of the better 3-year-olds last year. She had excuses in a lot of her races, and she's really hasn't gotten a campaign going this year. Only 2 starts early on, and she ran well in those races. She didn't win either time, but she ran well. And then last time, off of a little bit of a layoff, George Weaver did the right thing. He got her into a little allowance race at Keeneland, and she blew away a decent field of allowance horses. It was a really nice effort. It showed that she can still run. I just feel like Daddy is a Legend is going to offer maybe a little value in this race. Her good race, her very best race, is going to give her a chance in here. Maybe it won't be enough to beat a horse like Got Stormy, but if she's a fair price in this race, I think she has a real chance to win it. And I just wanted a horse that had a little bit of a better price. Not that I'm way against Got Stormy in here, but I put Daddy as a Legend on top. I went 9, 7, 5, and 3 in a really good run into the Matriarch on Sunday. This isn't one you want to miss. The approximate post time for race number 7 at Del Mar on Sunday is 3 o'clock Pacific time. Good luck.